Hi guys, welcome back to Barovia Made, and today I'm going to show you how I strip apart these pallets the poor man's way. No fancy machines here. So first we need a crowbar, we need an axe, and we need a hammer. And I'm talking about a sturdy crowbar, not one of those thin, cheap crowbars. You want one with a bit of meat on it. So first of all, with these European pallets, those two boards I just pointed out there are the easiest to take apart. They literally just pop out with a little bit of pressure. Next, what you're going to want to do is have a look, see if there's any cracks in any of the pallet wood, so you know where to apply the pressure and where not to apply the pressure as not to cause more damage. So how I get these big ones off, usually you can just get a sacrificial bit of wood and take them off the exact same way you did before, but a lot of the times they are really strong on there and hard to take off. So give that a go. If it doesn't work, go and grab your axe and hammer, pry it in between those two so you've got enough room to get your crowbar in there. So just go around, hit it a bunch of times, make sure you try and miss the nails, because if you break the nails halfway through, then they're a lot harder to remove the nails in the end. You need a hammer and punch and all that stuff, so you want to try save the nails and just go around carefully hitting it all, slowly prying up the wood. And if you're doing it this way, I'd recommend you do it a bit more carefully than me. Don't just start whacking it and whacking it. I mean, you can if you've got a bunch of pallets and it doesn't matter how much wood you get out of it, but if you want to save every bit of wood, you want to go around quite carefully. Now, on a side note, you only want to pick up the HT or KD pallets. Those mean heat treated or kiln dried. Anything else has chemicals in it and you don't want to breathe that in. Now, since this pallet's being a toughie to take apart, we're going to move from hitting that part and go towards the blocks. So we can take the blocks and the legs, if you would call it, off. So we are just left with the top of the pallet with a bunch of nails poking through. That way we can hit the nails through and just lift apart the pallets with relative ease. So we don't get a bunch of cracking, we don't get nails ripping through the wood and causing any damage to the wood we're trying to recover from this pallet. And again, you want to be careful about where the nails are so you don't hit and break them like I've just done. This is going to cause issues with trying to drive the nails out because it's harder to hit with a hammer. You'd have to go in with a center punch. And an easier way of taking these blocks off, instead of doing this, I'm only doing this because I want to save the blocks for a future project. But you can just turn the pallet on its side and hit it as hard as you can from the side with a hammer or a sledgehammer, and this will either shatter the blocks, leaving less of the block on the nail, which obviously is a lot less friction and is easier just to pry off, or it will just pull off. Like, I've hit it plenty of times and it just comes straight off. So that's an easier and quicker way if you want to do this. And you see here, I rough-assed it a bit too much and I snapped one of the bits of wood that I was trying to preserve. I should have just gone in with my crowbar and lifted it off, but that's one board, that's the second board so far that we've ruined out of this pallet. So you want to be careful of these nails as well if you're working on the floor. Be wary of where they are so you don't get a nail in the foot. Wear appropriate shoes, don't be like me and wear trainers. So what we want to do now is just go ahead and hit all the nails out with a hammer. Just go around, hit them all out. You can buy a tool that pushes these out, but to be honest, why do that when you've got a hammer at home? And now to show off my expert camera skills, I dropped my camera, so I put it upside down. So let me flip that back over so you can actually tell what I'm doing. And once you got all the big nails out, there's one or two smaller nails that just hold these boards in place. They're very easy, just quickly hit them and they'll pop straight off, as you can tell. Now moving back to the legs, it's very important you lose your hammer at first and spend a second looking for it. Then you want to walk over and quickly check that you're still recording because you're an idiot and forget to record half the time. Then you just want to hit it the same method with an axe and a hammer, just to pry it open a little bit so you can get a crowbar in there and just lift these off. Again, you can just whack them with a hammer, especially if they're MDF blocks, because as soon as you hit them with a hammer, they come straight off. They don't argue with you whatsoever. Unlike this one, where I hit it a little bit too hard and it just broke the board. Then we want to go ahead and do the same thing as we did before and whack out all of these nails. Ideally with a more suitable hammer, but I couldn't find it, so I couldn't bother looking for it. I just used this one. Whack them all out so they're all sticking out the other side. And this is take number 1. Let's try again and hope the camera doesn't move this time. We want to go ahead and hit them all out. Oh, and look at that. And it falls again. And I'm seriously debating just buying a tripod. Third time's the charm. Let's go ahead and try get some usable footage. Oh, and it's just not reliable. So let's move places so you can get a better angle of what I'm doing and mess around with the camera a bit more and get a horrible shot with clamps and stuff. But you can tell what I'm doing here. I'm just hitting the nails out so they're poking out the other way, so we can go back with a crowbar and just take all those nails out. You don't have to use a crowbar, but it's a nice little extra bit of leverage rather than using the back of a hammer. So yeah, you just want to lay them all. I find it easiest just to lay them all out like that, so I can go around and do them in one swoop instead of picking up each individual board and taking them all out. So go around, take out all the nails, pick up all the nails that you've thrown everywhere so you don't stand on them. Throw them in a bucket even though you're never going to use them again. Pick up the remaining last few bits of nails. And here is what we have harvested from the boards. These are all the good boards. I got 2 short boards, I got 2 wide boards, and I got 3 normal size boards. The rest I managed to break. Here's some pallet blocks that I managed to save. Some of them still have nails in. I'm not going to bother removing them yet though. I'll if that's future me's problem. I'm saving these for a future project. I'm not quite sure what the project's going to be yet. I'm debating whether to make a butcher block or a bedside table. I was originally thinking butcher block, but it's pine. It's not really a hard material and it just mark really easy. So let me know what you think I should do with them. And here are the broken ones. You could salvage the first 2. You could probably cut the end off of that one and probably glue the other one back together. I'm not going to bother though, because I'm always picking up pallets and stripping down pallets, so these will just go straight to the firewood, or if I need an extra short bit of wood, I'll cut it down and use that. But you can definitely salvage some of the boards if you're very tight on boards. And here's the sort of stuff you can make with pallet wood. You know, people look at pallet wood as trash, but if you're a beginner and you don't have a lot of money, you can make a lot of nice things with pallet wood. And as a beginner, you're going to be scrapping things all the time, so why not use free materials to learn with? And not only can you learn with them, you can make really nice products with them. This is a table I made. I sold it, and the customer absolutely loved it. She was fully aware that it was made from pallet wood, but she didn't care because she really liked the end result of it. There's loads of different ways you can use it. Like this table, I just put the boards and glued them together, burned them, finished it all, made the legs out of pallet wood and everything. The other table you just saw, I cut thin strips and glued them all together because I had some different coloured pallet wood, so I thought it'd look nice as like a little bench. So go ahead, pick yourself up some pallets, strip them down and make something nice. Be creative with it. Thanks for watching, see you later.